Hello firearms friends, Joel Colander here again for Rock Island Auction Company, and if you're watching this the day it comes out, I'm showing you something coming up tomorrow during our May 13th, 14th, and 15th Premier Firearms Auction. I'm going to show you something coming up day 3, May 15th, and I love finding an unassuming gun on the rack that has a great story, some great features, some real collectability to it. We're able to do that with our Paradox gun. We'll throw that video up in one of these corners, this corner, that corner. We'll throw it up there. An unassuming gun with a great story, with a great history, and I think we've got one with a pretty interesting history today. And that is because, well, I chose it because it's not every day you get to hold a serial number 1 in your hands. It's definitely not every day you get to hold a Winchester serial number 1 in your hands. And so when I saw one, I had to take the opportunity. This little gun right here is a Winchester Model 63 serial number 1. You can flip it right under here on the underside of the trigger guard and frame, matching serial number 1. So the Model 63 doesn't have much of a history of its own per se. That history is granted to its predecessor, and that would be Winchester's Model 1903. Based on the 1901 patents of T.C. Johnson, it's a simple blowback, 22 caliber semi-automatic rifle. And it's not only Winchester's first foray into the semi-automatic market, but it's the first semi-automatic 22 rifle in the United States. So it's got some precedent working for it. One of the big things that it did is it was using smokeless powder. And of course, you need smokeless powder if you're going to use a semi-automatic operating system. You have black powder, like basically every other 22 cartridge at that time. You're going to gum up the works. And that is something that Winchester did not want with their guns, is to get a bad reputation for reliability simply because of ammunition. So to avoid this potential problem with fouling in their guns, Winchester makes the 22 Winchester Automatic. It's a proprietary 22 caliber rimfire smokeless powder round, in contrast, like we said, to the black powder rounds of the time. Now, what they did to make sure you weren't going to use black powder rounds in their Model 1903 was they made them slightly different shape than the regular 22 cartridges at the time. So they weren't going to accept the 22 cartridges like, say, 22 long rifle. Well, in the 1903, that ended up being sort of the death knell for the 1903, because well, if there's one thing that's going to kill a cartridge, it's not using, reading the writing on the wall and using a cartridge that just keeps gaining and gaining and gaining in popularity. So, as we said, by 1910, everybody's basically producing 22 long rifle in smokeless cartridges. By 1924, Remington has kind of come out swinging with their Model 24, a John Moses Browning design. And Winchester by then is reading the writing on the wall, and they realize they kind of need to get rid of their pet cartridge, the 22 Winchester Auto, and accept the fact that 22 long rifle is the way of the future and the light. Unfortunately, they took their time to do so. So from 1924, when Remington, like I said, released the Model 24, they kept producing the Model 03. They changed it to the 03 in 1919. They kept producing this until 1932. When it went through a name change, and the Model 03 became the Model 63. A virtually identical rifle in every way, only now, instead of a niche proprietary cartridge, they were accepting the extremely popular 22 long rifle. So whether you're using the Model 1903, the Model 03, or of course, the Model 63, everybody agrees basically on one thing. These are slick little rifles. They are so smooth and so well put together. They're easy to load. Of course, you can throw your rounds of 22 long right here in the buttstock head first, push it in just like most tube mags I think that most of us are familiar with, only this one of course goes through the buttstock instead of tucked underneath the barrel there. The charging mechanism is a little different. It's up here with what they have termed an operating sleeve. So you can just give that a little push with your thumb. You're charged and ready to go. You can also push it with your thumb and give it a little twist, and it will lock the action open for you. So it's easy to load, it's easy to charge, and it's very easy to take down or disassemble. You have this sort of knurled knob on the back of the receiver there, a quick twist, and your buttstock and trigger group comes apart from your receiver and barrel, and easy for stowing, easy for packing, easy for cleaning. There's just a lot to like about a Model 63. The Winchester Model 63 saw production from 1933. Why they named it the 63 instead of the 33, I may never know. But it saw production from 1933 when they discontinued the 03 up until about World War II, when of course Winchester needed to focus a little more on the war effort for World War II. They resumed production after the war in 1946, and they produced them until about 1958, when they just kind of quietly left the Winchester product catalog. It was a little unusual, to say the least. At the end of the day, though, they had produced 174,692 of the Winchester Model 63, and it all started with this one right here, with serial number 1. Now, when it was produced in 1933, Winchester was asking a grand total of $34 for this Model 63 right here. In this weekend's auction, you might find a slightly higher price tag with our pre-auction estimate of $9,500 to $16,000 for this collectible. And frankly, it's an over 90% gun that's turning 90 years old. It looks pretty darn good. Let's see you look this good at 90. Well, everybody, that's the Winchester Model 63. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a subscribe. It's coming up for sale tomorrow, day 3, the final day of our May Premier Firearms Auction. Thanks for watching, and keep that powder dry.